Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Life and Happiness Podcast, the show that takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Alyssa Jo. So today I want to talk about the importance of our bodies and how they can affect our moods and how we communicate with others and ourselves. So our bodies can easily give away how we're feeling. Of course, in the obvious ways such as rolling our eyes, shrugging our shoulders, clapping our hands, or shaking our head. But what else are our bodies telling other people? How are our bodies interacting with others? And how do our bodies influence our moods and interact with ourselves? Well, our bodies are so powerful and they say so much more than we actually realize. We use them to communicate with others. And just like animals, we puff up, present ourselves bigger for dominance, or we shrink down and make ourselves smaller when we're rejected or scared. A lot of the time, we are doing this without knowing, by the simplest things. It could be as simple as pointing our toes in a certain direction or placing our hand on our face. These things say to others how we're feeling. But most importantly, our bodies have a huge influence on how we are feeling. We also use them as communication with ourselves most of the time when we don't even realize it. Our bodies are always influencing our moods. So, for example, if we're slouching, not only is it going to lead to abnormal spine alignment and long-term health effects, it actually makes you more sad and depleted of energy. So when you're slouching or hunched over, you're making yourself smaller, and it can make you more emotional, sad, upset. Maybe you're hiding away from the world. You know, when we're sad, we like to curl up in a ball in bed and stay that way, hide away. It's the same as if we're slouching. It actually sends signals to our body that we are sad, we are upset. So when we stay in this position, we are going to be depleted of energy and more emotional. So a little trick that I have for this, when you're walking, to make sure you're not slouching, when you're walking, face your palms of your hands forward when you walk, and then this will encourage your shoulders to relax back rather than roll forwards. So just try to always be conscious of if you're slouching or sitting up straight with better posture. Another thing that a lot of us do is we cross our arms and our legs. This is actually a defense mechanism. It's a physical barrier from a lot of things. So it's a physical barrier from maybe other people if we're having an argument, but it's also a physical barrier between ourselves. So we do this when we're nervous, we're insecure, or we have negative energy towards somebody. So when your legs are crossed or your arms, or maybe even both, you're actually closing yourself off completely. You're closed off to new opportunities, and you're closed off to people and letting positive vibes and feelings affect you. So this affects your mood because you're not letting anything in. No positivity, no good vibes, and you're actually holding in negative feelings as well. Most of the time when we cross our legs and arms, it's because we're angry, upset, nervous, insecure, like I said. So we're holding all of that anger and anxiety and negative emotion inside. So therefore, we're going to stay in that negative mindset. So when we are upset, it feels very comfortable to close off. It feels comfortable to cross your arms when you're in an argument or when you feel nervous or insecure and cross your legs. But if you open up your body and you sit with your feet flat on the floor and your arms by your side, or you stand up and maybe move around a bit, it can feel really uncomfortable, but uncomfortable is good. When we get uncomfortable, that means we're growing. So if we open up our body, we open up our mindset. We can let the good energy in, and we can receive all the positivity that we need from our surroundings. But we can also let go of the anger, anxiety, guilt, insecure, whatever we might be feeling. Especially when we are in an argument with someone, we might close ourselves off. But this actually makes us angrier. It encourages the mind to keep getting angry, and it encourages you to keep fighting back. Like I said, it's a defense mechanism. So to keep fighting, you get in this negative mindset and you close off. You hold all of that in. You might think that that's closing you off to the negative things that person is doing, but you're actually just holding in more anger and making this argument or this negative energy with someone worse. So next time you're angry or you're upset or in an argument with someone, check your body language. Stand up or uncross your legs and your arms, just move around a little. Get uncomfortable. Because when we're upset, we like to close off, like I said. We like to slouch. We like to go in our little bubble and do our thing. But that's just going to keep making our emotions worse and worse. So we need to be cautious of how we are sitting, how we're standing, the way that we're approaching people, the way we're approaching ourselves, because it really does have an effect on our body. We get to feel a little bit uneasy, and it feels weird at first when you kind of get up and move around or uncross your body or sit up straight, especially when you're very emotional, but we have to force ourselves to do it. So once you do, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to be letting the positivity in, and you're going to shake the negativity out. Help to improve your mood and handle situations in a better and calm way. So these are just some tips that we can do with our body just to make ourselves feel good. So the first one I want to talk about is mirroring. Obviously, this is pretty obvious. You know, you're mimicking someone or you're standing in front of the mirror. Mirroring can actually make you come to a conclusion with ease. It can make you calm down and feel connected to the other person. So this doesn't have to be a full body mimicry. You don't need to stand there and do exactly what they're doing, but it can be small little actions like where the hands are placed. It constitutes mimicking. So this helps create rapport, which remember the basics of communication, find common ground, create shared experiences, and be empathetic. So it helps solve disagreements easier, more calm, and foster empathy. I know this is crazy, but next time you're in an argument with someone, try to mirror something that they're doing. It really does help. I've been doing my research this past week and trying to mirror people, and it does. It gives you this ease. You kind of calm down. So try it next time. Another thing that I absolutely love, and I strongly suggest to do this, is the power pose. You know how I said that we're like animals and that we puff up our chest to establish dominance? Taking up space is a powerful display. So the power pose, it's like, like a superhero. Your power pose, you put your hands on your hips maybe, or whatever kind of superhero pose that you want to do. And it actually instantly gives you confidence. It gives you self-assurance. So the pose in which you take up space through a posture of confidence actually alters our levels of testosterone and cortisol, which is the stress hormone. So it's proven that 2 to 3 minutes a day has increased our feelings of power, confidence by boosting our testosterone as much as 20%. So it's literally as easy as standing up and doing a power pose. Like I said, maybe your hands on your hips, or think of a superhero and make yourself big. Do a powerful space, take up space, and it will actually work. I highly suggest doing it before a test, an interview, maybe something that you're nervous for. You need a little extra confidence. I did have one professor who every single time we would do exam, he would get us to stand up and he says, do your power pose. And we would do a power pose for like whatever it was. Maybe it could even be 30 seconds, but up to like 3 minutes. And you stand there and you get this boost of confidence. You know, it does. It sends signals all the way through your body, and it is our body's way of saying, I can do this, I am powerful, I am confident, I am assured with myself that I've got this. So try it next time. That one is so key to feeling better. And of course, smiling. So smiling has a huge impact on our moods. I'm sure you've heard this. You know, when you're in a good mood, just smile. That is way easier said than done. We definitely know that. But how we communicate with others and ourselves really is affected by our smiling. You know, when you're walking down the street and you run into somebody and they're smiling at you, you know, it genuinely brightens your day. But when you're walking down the street and you run into someone and they look grumpy, and it really takes you down. So smile more, even when you're just walking, because the way that we express ourselves, and it helps others perceive us in a proper way, the way that we want to, in a positive light. Smiling engages the mouth and moves the skin around the eyes that has the ability to activate the brain patterns of positive emotions, so just smile more often. It's proven to literally affect the brain patterns for positive mind. So I cannot stress that enough. I know it seems so simple. I know you've heard it so many times, but it is a lot more powerful than we even think. So this actually leads into my next segment. I'm going to talk a little bit about the power of laughter. And that is going to be coming up right after this break. You will be absolutely shocked of all the amazing things that we receive in our bodies just from having a good, hearty laugh. So stay tuned.
Are you tired of the same old news? Are you sick of the seemingly endless political spin and negativity? The GSMC America's Still Beautiful podcast is a weekly news podcast covering all the top positive and uplifting news stories. We cover stories that will inspire, uplift, and remind you of the good in the world. Tune into the Golden State Media Concepts America's Still Beautiful podcast to get all the great and positive news stories of today. Download the GSMC America's Still Beautiful podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Welcome back to the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. Just like I said before the break, I'm going to talk to you about the power of laughter, and you are going to be absolutely amazed. So we all have a favorite joke, right? Or maybe our favorite hilarious movie that just makes us laugh so hard. Maybe we have that one friend that we go to when we're sad because they're just naturally funny. We all need a good laugh every once in a while. Sometimes more often than we actually think. There are so many benefits of laughter. It is crazy. Things you would never would have thought about. So I'm really excited to talk to you about the power of laughter. So I'm sure you've heard the saying, laughter is the most powerful medicine. And it's true. It is a strong medicine that we have at our fingertips all times, but we just never tend to use it enough. Laughter draws people in ways that help physical and emotional changes to our body. It is amazing. Laughter actually strengthens your immune system, boosts your mood, diminishes pain, and protects you from damaging effects of stress. It's proven that nothing brings your body and mind ease faster than a good laugh. It helps balance out your mind and your body and any tension that you may be feeling. It inspires hope and lightens the stress and burdens in your life. It can connect you with others and keep you grounded and focused. It can also help release anger and forgive sooner. I know, it's a lot of information I'm throwing at you of all these amazing things, but think about children and how they are always giggling about something. It could be the silliest thing and they're just laughing away. And they're just breezing through life so easily. Sometimes it really looks like they have absolutely no care in the world. And they are. They're always giggling. They're always having a good time. And they're looking at life in an easier way. But I swear all their giggling truly helps them be this way. But of course, adults, we take life more seriously. We look at things in a more serious way instead of laughing or just enjoying things. Even our mistakes. Of course, we have more responsibility as adults. But that does not mean that we need to take everything so seriously. If you seek out laughter, you are automatically going to feel happier. It will improve your emotional health, strengthen your relationships, and just find a greater level of happiness. Do you want to live longer? Laugh more. Yes, it's true. Do you want to relax? Laugh more. Have you ever had a laugh attack and then instantly felt a relief off of your shoulders? That's because laughter relieves physical tension. It can leave your muscles relaxed up to 45 minutes after. So next time you're feeling anxious, seek out a hilarious friend or open up an awesome meme page on Instagram and laugh away because you will feel tension lifted up from you. Are you feeling angry? Laugh. This one seems pretty obvious, but laughter really diffuses anger and conflict a lot faster. Have you ever been in a fight with someone and they start to laugh? I know I have, and it makes you really mad in the moment. It makes you feel like they're not taking things seriously or anything, but that's them trying to lighten up the mood. Give it a few more seconds, and suddenly you start to chuckle as well, releasing the tension from the fight. That's why a lot of people try to make a smug joke or during the argument just to lighten the mood. You know, it might annoy us at first, but it actually does work. Even if we don't want to admit it, it really does help. Let's be real here. So through laughter, we release endorphins, which is the body's natural feel-good chemicals. Endorphins promote an overall sense of well-being, instantly improving our moods, making us feel better and more positive. So laughter doesn't just boost our moods and our mental health, it actually has more overall benefits as well. So are you feeling sick? Laugh more. This one is absolutely crazy to me because if I can really just laugh to help fight off my cold, I am all for it. And it's true. Laughing decreases stress hormones and increases immune cells and infection-fighting antibodies, thus improving your resistance to disease. So it also improves the function of your blood vessels and increases your blood flow. Laughter protects your heart emotionally and physically. It'll help protect you against heart attacks and other cardiovascular problems. I know this sounds crazy, but it really does. It helps your immune system, and it is protecting your heart. As easy as laughing. Okay, so do you want to burn some extra calories? Laugh more. I know that also sounds crazy, but laughing for 10 to 15 minutes a day can burn approximately 40 calories. I know that's not a lot. It's definitely not a replacement for the gym, but hey, anything counts, right? So laughter improves you physically by boosting your immune system, lowering your stress hormones, decreasing pain, and relaxing your muscles, and it protects your heart, emotionally and physically, like I said. Mentally, it can automatically put you in a better, more positive mood and mindset. It calms your anxiety and tension that you might have. I know, like it is easier said than done to just have a good hearty laugh. But find things that you find funny. Like I said, find that friend or a movie or a meme page or just something. Maybe you have a funny book or it could be anything, a funny YouTube video that gets you every time. Keep that at your fingertips because a good laugh just has so many benefits. Finally, laughing actually really helps us socially. When we're able to have a laugh with a friend or a family member, it is a great feeling. We automatically feel closer to that person. We automatically feel a deeper connection and it starts to build. We might not feel this right away. We might not see that right away, but it's true. Think of you and your best friend. How often do you laugh? You know, when you're driving down the highway and you're singing your favorite song and you're having so much fun, you're always laughing. I know I have a couple friends that we just can't stop giggling every single time that we're together. And we don't know why, but that's just our connection. It's what we do, and we're so close because we are just always having fun. Laughing also attracts people towards us. So we are way more likely to approach someone who is laughing and having a great time compared to someone with an angry face or who closed off, or like I said, talking about the body language, someone that's, their arms crossed and they have this facial expression. They look like they're having a terrible time. We don't want to approach those people, right? So it goes both ways. We are going to attract people and build more relationships and bring more positivity into our lives, which is just going to lead to an overall happiness. So laugh more. Spend time with people that make you laugh. It also helps get you out of your head. Be more spontaneous. because it's instantly lighting your mood, you're not overthinking, and you're just having a good time. You can let go of defensiveness. Like I said, in an argument, if you are laughing, if someone starts to laugh, things start to ease up. It does. It starts to lighten the mood. And the fear of holding back is actually pushed to the side because you're not thinking, you're not being defensive, you're not feeling angry, you're just completely lightening up and you're opening up. You're opening up your mindset, you're opening up your body. And so now you're not scared of being held back. You're just being yourself and having fun. You're expressing how you're really feeling. A good hearty laugh is a great way to show how you are feeling. So spend time with more fun and playful people. People that make you laugh or that you know that you always have a good time with. And just bring humor into your everyday conversations. Just little things. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing to find humor. But if we do have a funny friend, or we can find that funny meme page or a movie, a YouTube video, whatever it may be, it does help just to implement those small things into our lives. Or always just keep a good joke around with you. I have a few friends that they always just have a random cheesy joke, and it is so much fun. They always have something funny to share. It always is a way to lighten up the mood in any room. It's also really important to learn to laugh at yourself once in a while. Remember what I said about adults taking everything so seriously, especially our mistakes. But it's healthy to laugh at your mistakes sometimes. It brings a lighter mood and it makes you feel better, and then you can approach the solution with a clearer, more positive mind. So surround yourself with reminders that help you lighten up. It can be very simple. Personally, I love the color yellow. It's already a bright and happy color to begin with, but I place yellow randomly in areas of my life, whether it be like a yellow throw pillow, even yellow sticky notes, or using a yellow highlighter while I'm working. Whatever it may be, I bring these little yellow elements, and it really does. It lightens my mood. Sometimes I laugh at myself because I'll randomly have something yellow, like just completely random, and I forgot that I put it there. But it makes me laugh because I'm like, oh my goodness, old Alyssa is thanking present Alyssa for putting that burst of color into my life at the moment. So surround yourself with things that make you happy, that make you laugh, and that just make you look at life in a brighter light. And like I said, if all else fails, put on your favorite comedy movie on repeat. So with that note, I'm going to leave you with some cheesy jokes and hope that you will laugh and it'll improve your mood and benefit your overall health. What does a nosy pepper do? Gets jalapeno business. No? Okay. Okay, this one's one of my favorites. What do you call having your grandma on speed dial? Instagram. No? Okay. Okay, I have two more for you. What do you call an illegal parked frog? Toad. And then this one's my favorite. I don't know if everybody else will find this funny. This one is my favorite, though. What do you call a cow with a twitch? Beef jerky. Okay, I hope those cheesy jokes made you laugh and gave you a moment of happiness and improved your mood. So we're going to take a break, but when we come back, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about interacting and making connections without using your words. The power of touch and the power of your body. So stay tuned.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
welcome back to GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast. I hope that you had a chuckle with those cheesy jokes that I left you with before the break, because we're going to talk about making connections and interacting without using your words. So the power of our bodies a little bit more. So there are lots of ways that we can communicate without using words. A lot of people actually don't understand the importance of our nonverbal communication. Often we practice what we're going to say, but not how we're actually going to act or present ourselves, like our gestures, our mannerisms, whatever it may be. It is proven that 85% of what an audience takes away is from body language, mannerisms, and social expression. It's crazy. We're interacting with our bodies all the time, and people are perceiving us because of our body actions that we don't even realize. So, of course, body language is a huge thing of how we communicate with others. Just like I talked about earlier in the episode, our body language doesn't just influence the way we're feeling, but it really does communicate how we are feeling towards other people. So, eye contact. Eye contact is a huge thing of how we are communicating with others. Eye contact can show confidence, it can show dominance, but it can also be comforting and compassionate. Right? So when we're making eye contact with people, we are making a direct connection with them. We are looking them into the eyes and really showing how we feel and connecting with how they feel. It makes them feel good that we are making a connection with them. This can be like I said, comforting and compassion. You know, if someone is really upset and you're just really paying attention to them, you're giving them eye contact. You're giving your undivided attention. You're not looking at your cell phone. You're not looking somewhere else. You're looking at them and focusing on them. Of course, eye contact can be different in business and work, relationships, whatever it may be. But direct eye contact with someone is a very powerful way to show that we are focused, we are listening, and we care. Or simply that we're confident, that we are dominant. You know, when you are shaking your maybe potential future boss's hand, you want to look them directly in the eye and have a good handshake. Smile at them and give them eye contact. Sometimes we have a hard time making direct eye contact with someone. Maybe it makes you feel uncomfortable or feel uneasy, but that's because it is a vulnerable thing to look directly into somebody's eyes, right? And it's a vulnerable thing for someone to look directly in your eyes. So sometimes we get scared, we get insecure, and we don't want to do that. But it's very important to make that direct eye contact, especially when first meeting people or when you need to be compassionate and you need to focus. It really shows. So another thing that we do with our bodies is distance. Distance is a huge thing of how we interact and make connections with people. So how far away are you standing from someone? Or how close are you standing to someone? Are you standing too close or too far away? You know, when someone is having an emotional conversation with you and you're standing pretty far away, that's you communicating, I don't want this, I don't want to do this, I'm not connected to you right now. And you're showing them that you're not focused, you're not listening, and you're not connecting. But if you stand closer, you know, you're showing more compassion. You're showing that you care. I'm here for you. I'm close to you. Physically and trying to be emotionally, whatever it may be. Or maybe you're in an argument and, you know, distance is a big thing when you're fighting with someone or things are getting heated and you walk away. I'm sure we've all had that storm off walk, like, I'm done, see you later. We walk away. That's us communicating. We're done. Whether we say it or we're not, I'm walking away. I'm done with this. I'm done with this conversation. I need some space. So that's another thing. Take your space if you need it. It communicates how you're feeling deep down. Or come closer. Give somebody a hug. Come in close and look them directly in the eye and be close with them. That's showing another way. You're interacting with them in a more intimate way. Or you can distance yourself and communicate that, hey, I don't want to be a part of this. I'm not feeling this. I have bad energy. I'm going to distance myself. Rewind, back up. So watch how close you are to somebody or how far away you are. Another one is time. So silence can say a lot. When someone is talking to you and you just sit there and you're quiet, And it's just time. Time goes by, whether you're talking or you're not. Maybe your friend is going through something and they just vented to you and they don't want you to say anything. Just sitting there and being present, just spending time with someone is communicating with them. I care about you. I'm going to sit here and spend some time with you. So it's really important to know if you're a good listener. And time and silence is a perfect way to measure that and be good at listening. So next time that your friend is upset, just try to sit back, look them in the eyes, and listen. How does listening affect others? It really does. When you're sitting there and talking to somebody and they can tell that you're genuinely listening and paying attention, they're going to feel a deeper connection to you. They're going to open up. They're going to open up their mindset, and you're going to be letting these things in as well. You're going to be building this connection, building this relationship because you are genuinely listening. You are genuinely caring about what is happening, what this person's talking about. We take time to really connect, and we're hearing how they're feeling and what's going on. So we need to become aware of ourselves and others. When we're listening, we can really become aware of how that person is feeling. And then we can reflect that back of how we're going to react. How are we going to help this person? Or how are we going to respond in a way that's good for me and them, right? It goes both ways. So become aware of yourself and become aware of others. Pay attention. So silence, time, listening, it is a huge thing in really making a connection with somebody. Fashion is another thing that we communicate with that we don't realize. How are you dressing? What are you wearing when you're going to hang out with somebody? Maybe you have a date and you spend all afternoon trying to pick the perfect outfit. That is communicating how you feel, not just to them, but to yourself as well. How much do you really care of what you look like? Or on business side of things, of course, if you're dressing professional, you're showing up, you're portraying, you're communicating with the people in your workplace so that I am professional, I am serious, I am ready. That communicates with people and that makes a connection with them. And they'll have more respect for you. They'll perceive you in the way that you want to be perceived by the way that you dress. And it's true, the way that we dress, the way that we present ourselves, what we're wearing, if we have our hair done, our makeup, if you're a woman, that is presenting, that is communicating, I care, I'm ready, I'm professional, whatever the case may be. And then I think one of the most important ways of nonverbal communication, of course, is touching. Touching, or you can call it haptic communication. It's a very good way to communicate without using your words. Every cell works together with a purpose. It's no coincidence that our skin, the largest organ of our bodies, is connected to thousands of nerves that give us the ability to perceive touch. There has been a study back in 2009 where participants were effectively able to communicate 8 out of 12 emotions by using touch alone. So this just shows that touch is a very important and a better way of conveying our emotions than facial expressions and our voice. At least it can be for most cases. The orbitofrontal cortex of the brain is activated during touch. So it's the part of the brain that controls our feelings of reward and compassion. So next time that someone did a great job, give them a pat on the back. Or when you give them a praise or a high five, whatever it may be, that touch is going to activate that your compassion, you're rewarding them, you're celebrating them, they did do a good job. You increase a person's feeling of accomplishment by giving them a pat on the back when you tell them that they've done a good job. You may not realize it and they may not realize it right away, but it's true. It sends signals throughout your body that they did a good job. You can also start discussions with touch to build cooperative relationships. Obviously, you need to be careful about this, but if you want people in your life to cooperate with one another, then touch is the answer. Numerous studies, including one on the performance of NBA teams, have found that touch increases a person's willingness to cooperate and work with others. If you plan to ask somebody in your life for help, or change their behavior, or to consider a viewpoint, find a way to work in a discreet physical contact. at least when you initiate the conversation. The other person may not even realize that you touched them, but it will register subconsciously and it will create a bond. It is crazy the little things that we can do with our body to help us in our lives, in our relationships, to get heard better, for people to see your view better, maybe, whatever it may be. Just a simple touch can create a more important bond. So I think one of the most important things that we do almost on the daily is handshake. At least, if you're a business person, if you're always meeting new people, maybe you're going to meetings, whatever it may be, you shake people's hands quite often. And the way that you handshake can show a lot about who you are. I'm sure you've heard of he has a firm handshake or a weak handshake, whatever it may be. But I think one of the most important things with a handshake is eye contact. Just like I mentioned when we started talking about eye contact at the beginning, it is important to show that you are connecting to that person. This is who I am. You're showing confidence. This is who I am. I'm shaking your hand. I am presenting myself in the way that I want you to perceive me. So the next time you shake someone's hand, pay attention to the nonverbal cues that you are sending. It's always best to convey confidence when you shake one's hand, but be careful to not be overly confident. Touching is a great way to show our emotions. Of course, there's the friendly touch and a romantic touch as well. We can show how we're feeling and communicate with others just by simple touches. It says signals throughout your entire body that you subconsciously realize, but you don't. You had no idea that that's what that little pat in the back made me feel so good. Or giving somebody a high five or a hug. Have you ever hugged somebody and they were just a terrible hugger? Maybe they were just awkward and stiff. Hugging is very important. You are sending so much energy into one person at a time. You guys are both sharing your energy by giving a hug. It may seem like such a simple thing. Oh, I hug my friends all the time. But hugging somebody really shows how you're feeling and how they're feeling. Your guys' energies collide. They combine together. So respond to other people's non-verbal communication as well. If they pat you on the back and it makes you feel good, respond to that. You can respond to it in a nonverbal way, or of course, talking and expressing how you're feeling. We always focus on what we're going to say, on our speech or answers, maybe in an interview. If we need to have a serious conversation with someone, we're always playing in our mind, what are we going to say? How do I make this perfect? But we need to think of our nonverbal cues and how we're going to portray that. Because it does a lot more and it communicates and interacts with people a lot more than you think. So next time, like I said, so just be aware of what you're doing with your body and be aware to use it more of how you want to communicate with others, because it can really help your communication. It can help people see your view. It can help people feel compassion, or, you can portray yourself as more confident, whatever it may be. Don't just think about your speech next time. Don't just think about how you're going to say things. Think about what you're going to do with your body to communicate the way that you want to. So that is the end of this episode of the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Alyssa Jo. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can get notified when the next episode of Life and Happiness comes on. Remember to like and follow us on social media. And of course, as always, leave a 5-star rating. I really enjoyed talking to you today about the power of our bodies and how it can improve our moods and our overall happiness in life. I look forward to next time.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Life and Happiness Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find the show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of our shows. from the GSMC Podcast Network. From sex and relationships to health and wellness, life and happiness, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Life and Happiness Podcast.